Letting your cats wander around outdoors is risky business. Even pet owners who are comfortable with this will tell you that there's always the chance their precious kitties either never come back, or they possibly suffer an injury thanks to some sort of predator. Sue Zalitsky always let her cat, Jimmy, outside of their West Milford, New Jersey home, and he was always diligent about staying close by. If he wasn't wandering around a neighbor's yard, he was sitting in the driveway or occasionally enjoying a nap in a car with the window down. He always came home. However, on September 13, 2014, Jimmy, who was 13 years old at the time, didn't return home like usual. Sue's husband called for him repeatedly and looked around the yard, all to no avail. For the first time ever, he was nowhere to be found. The search for Jimmy began immediately. The following morning, after he'd still not returned home, his family began posting flyers everywhere they could. Whenever Sue walked their family dog, she would call Jimmy's name. Sadly, he never came. As was inevitable, the days of searching turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Then, after about a year, the family had all but given up in their hopes of ever finding their beloved Jimmy. It started to sink in that he might never come home. 2.5 years later, the search for Jimmy had pretty much ceased. His family had very little hope of ever seeing him again. Then, while Sue was perusing her Facebook feed, she suddenly came across a post from the West Milford Animal Shelter about a stray cat they'd recovered. Sue immediately reached out in the Facebook post and began asking questions to see if it was, in fact, her beloved Jimmy. The more answers she received, the sooner it became clear that it actually was him. He was found approximately 10 miles from our home after the big March blizzard and brought into the West Milford Animal Shelter, Sue explained in an interview. After some sharing of pictures and other physical attributes, I went to see him. That's when Sue headed to the shelter with a few items she hoped Jimmy might remember. When she arrived at the shelter, it was instantly clear that he recognized his owner, despite the fact that it had been more than 2 years since they'd last seen each other. In the end, Jimmy had managed to find his way home. When he returned to his house for the first time in 2 years, it was as if he'd never left. Now, he's fitting in nicely with the 2 kittens they'd recently adopted, and he even rekindled his relationship with the family dog too.